From the top rope to your collection, this is Collecting the 1, 2, 3 presented by Cardboard Dugout. I am your host, Moon3PO, and it is my tag team partner, Bropio, coming through with our post SummerSlam reaction pod. But before we dive all into it, Bropio, how you doing?
Doing pretty good. Yeah, spent like pretty much last week sick. Whole family got attacked by some kind of cold or something. So if people are out there wondering what happened to our prediction, which we usually do, but we got busy and then got sick. So was a little MIA there for a while. But other than that, I'm good, man.
Yeah, under the weather on your end, and then obviously if you guys follow the pod or follow me over beyond the podcast, you guys know that I set up as a trading card vendor for like the fourth, fifth time. So had a lot of prepping to do this week. We changed a lot of things with the showcase, with stickering, pricing. I brought a lot of new things to the show itself, so we spent basically almost a whole week preparing, especially since Mrs. Moon was out of commission for this show. So knowing that I had to like set up everything, had to make sure everything was proper and things like that. So that's why we were absent. We did kind of like throw like subtle like predictions over online, which is why I highly advocate. Advocate, that's a big word for me, that you guys follow us over on those social media. So if you're looking for our predictions, you're looking for what we're buying, you're looking for what we're selling, or reacting to some big hobby news, because there was a lot of hobby news that came out this past week as well. Obviously, the National was appearing there in Chicago, which a lot happened in the wrestling card space. So we're going to unpack everything. We're going to talk about SummerSlam. We're not going to, we'll go through each night. We're not going to talk about every match. We're just going to talk about, some key standout performances, things that we like, things that we didn't like. Then obviously, head on to the good old hobby talk, as this is a wrestling trading card podcast, that I should say. But as always, SummerSlam, the event of the summer. I will admit, leading up to it, wasn't feeling that excited for SummerSlam. Some of the performances were still kind of came out of it still kind of I sound like a complete hypocrite. I remember I was over on Instagram when the card was announced as far as what matches were on, what I had thought night one absolutely cleared night two, but coming out of it, night two, in my opinion, cleared night one. Obviously, we had some big matches, we had some big returns, and obviously we're going to talk about all that into fuller detail. But if I was to group night one and night two together and give it a letter grade, I would say it's like a B minus. It wasn't a B plus. It wasn't an A. It had maybe the indicators to move up to a B plus. But I think overall, it was a solid card. Some of the grabs, could we get a little bit more grabs? Yes. But I think overall, this was a very solid SummerSlam. Not better than last year's. Obviously, last year there was a lot of different things. Cena's retirement tour, Punk going for the World Heavyweight Championship, Seth Rollins cash in, all that going on there. But yeah, overall, I would give this a solid B minus. So if you had to give it a letter grade, Bropio, or a star rating, so I think it's like a 3-star for me, where would you be at here for both SummerSlam's night one and night two?
Yeah, I ranked it over on at Dropkicked. I gave night one a 3.5 star rating, and then I gave night two a slight edge at 3.75 rating. So I don't know what would that translate to, like B minus, C plus maybe. It was all right.
Yeah,
it
B minus, C plus.
Some matches were kind of, like you said, they were a little bit of a miss, but then of course there were like some really really good ones. So, but yeah, I thought it was fine. Not that I don't think it was nothing like not the most memorable SummerSlam besides a few matches here and there. So, but I think it was okay.
Yeah, I would agree. Obviously, 100% with that statement there. Obviously, night two I think had probably, I would think, some of the big bigger moments. Obviously, and again we'll dive deeper into when we get to night two. But obviously, the Seth and Roman, the Kevin Owens return. Chad Gable becoming your new IC champion. I think there was a lot of Chelsea Green becoming the new interim WWE Women's Champion. So I think there was a lot of key moments that came out of night two. Night one, I felt like that's kind of where we were lacking. Minus from some cool, little moments with Nick Aldis. The CM Punk Cody match was fine. I think and obviously I guess this is the perfect transition to talk about night one. I felt like the Obafemi and Brock Lesnar Main event kind of underperformed a little bit. Do I think it was a fine match? Yes. I would so like if I was to rank them, I think you would literally rank them in the trilogy. Like WrestleMania was their best match. Clash in Italy, whatever the hell it was their second best match, and I think this one was probably the worst one. And I think, and we'll just jump kind of all over the card here as we always do. But yeah, the main event just kind of didn't hit for me. I mean, you promoted it as a Hell in a Cell. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, they used the cell like once or twice, and it was like a couple of shoulder shots. For me, a Hell in a Cell, like you have to utilize the cell. Like the perfect example of that is the Punk and McIntyre one they had back at Bad Blood. That's like one of the best Hell in a Cell matches that I've seen in a long time. But you even go back to like the 90s, like the Takers, the Mankind, the Triple H's, the Michaels, like those classic Hell in a Cell matches, they utilize the cell on itself. And I feel like that main event didn't really do that for me. So that's why I was real lower on that one. Punk and Cody, and again, was a fine match. It was good. I think it started off a little bit slow, and then it picked up some little awkward spots. The moonsault. I know we kind of talked about the moonsault from Punk. That was obviously one of the bigger missed spots, I could say. But a gruesome table spot from him. Obviously, you have to turn to Randy Orton. So kind of setting up where Randy and Cody goes. Because obviously you're kind of jumping ahead here. We know that KO and Punk is set up for. I would assume Money in the Bank. Gunther, Nick Aldis, fine match. And I think it was like about 11-minute match. I'm full transparency, not too familiar with Nick Aldis' work. Outside WWE, I do know the theme song, which is cool that he came out to the Oasis theme song. So surprisingly enough, TKO forked out a bag for that. But yeah, overall fine match. I enjoyed it. Obviously, we all know that Nick Aldis now is reinstated back as a SmackDown GM. I thought maybe he would have come back as a full-time wrestler, not full-time wrestler, but at least be a part of the SmackDown roster. Fatal Influence, Nikki Bella didn't really do anything, and the Bella Twins didn't do anything, minus from the ending there, which we do know Brie Bella is hurt indefinitely. I think from what I heard, it's like a broken scapula or something like that, a fractured scapula. So we do know that she is going to be out for quite a period of time. Liv and Io, a fine match. I wish they would have had a little bit more time. Same thing with the 6-man. It was just kind of like one of those, it was a fun match, don't get me wrong, the 6-man in both Io and Liv, but I feel like a little bit more time maybe could have had that a little bit up. But yeah, I feel like overall, nothing really too crazy, nothing too surprising, minus from the Randy Orton return. Yeah, I know I kind of jumbled all those matches all into one, so I don't know if there was a key performance from there that you specifically want to talk about, or if there was a match that maybe just didn't hit for you as you thought it would.
Yeah, well, I think first off, I was surprised that the Hell in a Cell is what main evented night one. I thought for sure it would have been Cody Punk. But yeah, I'm just along the same lines of I don't think it necessarily, the way they advertise it as a Hell in a Cell match, you would think, I honestly thought maybe they were gonna break the cage down, bust through, and not necessarily fight on top of the cell, but at least bust through the gate and stuff like that. That didn't happen. I think, like you said, I think they threw each other to the cage a couple times, and I know Oba set up that table on the cage, kind of threw Brock through the table. Yeah, just a little funky. I wouldn't say it was a bad match, but I think it also wasn't great. Again, the Hell in a Cell thing kind of doesn't really help. Didn't really do anything. I think, in my opinion, it probably should have been a street fight or a no DQ. I think that probably would have been a little bit better. Shout out to those names on the mats that got ripped apart. That Brock probably didn't even care. Those are supposed to go into relics, and Brock just ripped those names apart. shout out to Brock for that. I also saw some people saying that that Oba was supposed to slam Brock on the wood panels. I highly doubt it. I don't think that was supposed to happen.
That's dangerous. That's a real dangerous spot to do that.
I saw people say if you look Brock looks back to see, I guess, where the wood was at, but I highly doubt that. I think that was the way it was supposed to go. But other than that, yeah, I mean, that was my biggest complaint. The Hell in a Cell really played no factor into it. The Punk and Cody I did enjoy. Like you said, it was a little bit of a slow start, but then you can see that they pick it up. And in regards to the moonsault, I think he said it was a tribute to Terry Funk. I think Terry Funk did a moonsault like that. Don't know if he missed that bad too, but that's what the interweb says, that it was a tribute to Terry Funk. But other than that, I mean, I think everything else kind of went, decision-wise, kind of went the way I thought it would go. I figured Liv Morgan was going to retain. Just because I don't think they would. I know people were saying that it probably would have. It was time for a swap, but I don't think that swapping the title off of Liv to put on Io is going to save anything. And as we see tonight, I kind of see now where they're kind of headed. Raw's women division got a little boost tonight with the return of Becky and Stephanie Vicaris. So I'm really curious and
big
interested
boost.
See how that's going to go. But other than that, yeah, I mean, didn't really care for the 6-man tag between the Bloodline and Royce, and between LA Knight and Solo and Royce Keys. Solo's, I think, now like the funniest dude on the world now, dude.
Solo Dolo, dude. That
Solo
pew, pew,
Dolo.
pew, 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 pew.
Yeah, that guy's on another level now. And I think apparently Royce Keys is now dead. I think Jacob Fatu killed him tonight on Monday Night Raw. So the Gunther and Aldis, I think, was good too. I know Nick Aldis. I'm like you. I'm not too familiar with Nick Aldis' work. So I really don't know anything about his. I have to go back and watch some of his matches. I've heard he's
supposed to be. There's a real good. Cody and Nick Aldis match. I think for the NWA Championship or something. Like, correct me if somebody's gonna fact check. Somebody's gonna fact check me on that. Yeah, somebody's gonna fact check me or roast me in the comments. But yeah, I heard that one's a pretty good one. So like people were like, listen, I'll like some matches to watch from. I know that was like one of the top ones.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go and watch it. I'm pretty sure it's on YouTube. But yeah, it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool to see him get in the ring. Got his moment. I know he got like really emotional on Chris Van Vliet's pod. I haven't seen the episode.
Yeah.
I've seen clips of it and I saw how emotional it was for it. So it was pretty cool for him to get his moment. Obviously, he was there with his family, with Mickey and their kids. So that was pretty cool. And then the 6 women tag match, didn't really care for either. Kind of went the way it did. Didn't really see the turn on Paige. That kind of came out of nowhere, honestly. Honestly, if I thought somebody was going to turn on somebody, I honestly thought like Royce Keys was going to turn on LA Knight and Solo and maybe join the Bloodline because they keep on talking about how they're family and blah, blah, blah. But obviously, that didn't happen. And now he's dead. So, yeah, the turn on Paige just is, I don't know. Like, I don't know where you go from here with that. It's just interesting turn of events. Especially
I truly believe the Bella Twins have. I think they have like a Danhausen curse on them because man, those girls. I feel for them. Like
yeah.
I think I've been on the record on the pod of like I'm not the biggest fan of the Bella Twins. Like their work isn't the best. It isn't the worst. They've had their worst moments. They've had some pretty decent moments. I know some people online who like strictly hate the Bella Twins. I'm not in that camp, but man, at this point you kind of just help and feel for them. I feel like you would think that at this point they would have been tag team champions. Granted, it just would have been like a nostalgia run. You know, obviously, like they were a tag team before the tag teams were a thing. I'm pretty sure that was going to happen at Mania potentially. Or maybe that was set up for Bayley and Lyra. Who the hell knows? But yeah, I feel like them two as a team strictly just cannot catch a break. Like at this point, like I just feel for them at this point. It's rough out there for them.
Yeah. So now that Bree's hurt, yeah, it's kind of interesting if they're just going to run Nikki versus Paige now, I guess, or I have no idea.
2013, let's throw AJ Lee in there. We'll have a fucking 2013-2012 run.
Oh, gosh. Actually, I saw somebody on Twitter. Somebody posted the video. They were saying it was going to be the Bellas versus AJ and Paige, and it was the match at Crown Jewel between DX and the Brothers of Destruction. They said that was going to be
That's hilarious.
I was like, oh boy. I was like, I don't think it could be that bad because that was pretty bad.
That was bad.
But yeah, I mean, so I think that's why night 1 was solid, but I do give the slight advantage over to night 2, even though they have some funky little matches, and I think matches are a little bit shorter, if I'm not mistaken, too. On night 2.
Yeah, I officially got the times up on here. So night 1, Liv and Io went 13 minutes and 35 seconds. LA Knight and the 6-man was a not even, but a perfect 11-minute match. Gunther and Nick Aldis went a little bit over at 11 minutes and 40 seconds. The 6-woman tag was 7 minutes and 30 seconds. CM Punk and Cody was 30 minutes and 10 seconds. And Obo and Brock was 11 minutes and 40 seconds. You can see here, not doing the math off my head, I think their matches are probably like averaging like 15 minutes, 14 minutes, give or take. Obviously, that's being accumulated by CM Punk and Cody. But yeah, that is a perfect segue here to night 2. We have here, obviously, the biggest surprise out of this here was Kevin Owens coming back here and being thrown into the Fatal 4-Way. Originally, that match was scheduled for it being Sammy versus Finn Balor, a strictly one-on-one match, but Nick Aldis turning heel, essentially, and throwing Gunther into that match, and then making it a Fatal 4-Way, throwing into having Kevin Owens being added into that. Now, I'll throw it off. I'll tip my cap off to our other brother here at Noah Collects. I'll throw this stuff down below as well, as he's been growing his WWE trading card and TCG profile, I guess you would say. He's a one-time guest here on this podcast because he's actually the one that called it out. He was like, hey, like Kevin Owens is out, like he's in Minnesota. My whole time I kept saying, I kept playing in my freaking head as because they mentioned like Minnesota like so many different times in this program. I felt like I feel like another city doesn't really get mentioned that much, but the fact that they focused on Minnesota being mentioned so many times, like that kept just playing in my head. If you know, you know. But he was the one that was like talking throughout the week, like, hey, like Kevin Owens is there. I'm like, yeah, like they have like their autograph signing. They have like a little convention thing where you go like a meet and greet autographs. Like, I'm pretty sure he's just doing that. And he was, oh, that's a good point. But yeah, this came out of left field. Did not even see this being reported. I think it was reported. I know I saw some people kind of like talking crap about it. I think Dave Meltzer is the one who reported it previously. I completely missed it. I did not see it at one bit. But yeah, Kevin Owens, man.
I didn't see that he was going to be input into this match, but I did see that they were getting ready for him to come back, and they more or less they had like plans for him already. But I didn't know like about him just being thrown into this Fatal 4-Way. So that was a good surprise.
Yeah, I was heavily surprised. I marked out like a freaking idiot because it was one of those things where one, I didn't see it coming, and two, the longest time that we were hearing about Kevin Owens that it was a serious neck injury, it was career ending or career potential ending. So did not think at one like we would see him here in this match and even coming out victorious. And I think it's a perfect setup there. You know, obviously we've had CM Punk had his run in with Sammy. We've seen it with Gunther. We've seen it with Finn. So Kevin Owens is a completely fresh matchup, and that's 100% what SmackDown needed. And I'm super excited for their program. They had one run in on SmackDown before he got hurt. It was real brief. I know they don't like each other, and I think it's like legitimate stuff. Like it's not like the Seth and Cody. It's not like the Seth and Punk stuff where it's just like Punk said some shit and then they kind of just bonded together. Not bonded, but like kind of mend. I would think they've mended fences with what we see and stuff like that. I feel like there's some WWE unreal stuff of them being filmed and they had to cut it. Like we need to keep this heat real. But from what I've heard, and I've heard Kevin Owens talk about it, I've heard Punk talk about it, I legitimately think that these two do not like each other, which always makes for good program. As CM Punk says, if there's money behind it, it's going to make for some good program. So this Friday is must watch. Their promo battle is going to be absolutely must see television. So I'm super excited for that program. I don't know how you feel about it. I don't think they have, if I'm not mistaken, again, someone has to fact check me. I know there's like a big database of wrestling matches. I think they have like one match on the indies, like one or two matches. It's very rare, and I think that's where their problem stemmed from. But yeah, overall with that, I'm super excited for this program. Something fresh, and again, something that we've complained that we're just running things back and back and back. This is something where I think SmackDown needed, and I think that championship needed as well. So I'm super excited for that program.
Yeah, I'm intrigued by it. I think I even tweeted it out. Like I was wondering when's the last time they wrestled, and I would assume that they would have crossed paths in Ring of Honor. I think they were. I would want to say they were around there at the same time. I don't know for sure, but that'd be my best guess. Is that was probably the last time they wrestled. And yeah, I think the only interaction they had is like when Punk came back and he runs into Kevin Owens backstage, and Kevin just gives him gives like a little remark to him. That's it. So, yeah,
they did have a program. They did have a program battle, or a promo in ring. It was real small. I think it was before the Rumble. I think, yeah.
Damn, I don't even remember then. But yeah, I'm pretty.
That's
sure
when they threw good. Like Kevin Owens threw like suitable jabs. He's like, "Well, you never made it," because this was even before Punk main evented both night one, night two night, so he has that over him. He was like, I think if I remember the promo exactly, like Owens was like, "Well, you've never main evented like anything," And then CM Punk was like, "Well, I've never lost to somebody named Logan Paul," and it kind of like, yeah. So that's the I'll send it to you. It's a really good promo.
No, I remember now. I do remember that line. Yeah, yeah. But yeah, I'm intrigued.
Yeah.
It's gonna be pretty good.
Yeah, looking at it here, like I'm trying to like do quick little research. Like I don't think they've ever wrestled. Like I'm not seeing anything. I could be wrong, but I don't see like anything. I know there's like a big wrestling database where it has like every like single like match, like even with the indies. But yeah, I'm not seeing anything. So yeah, I think it is like something like completely fresh. But yeah, you are correct. I know their problems did stem from ROH. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's something as stupid as like even like I could recognize it's kind of stupid. I think Punk made comments about him wrestling in a T-shirt. If I'm not mistaken. I think that's where it stemmed from. I don't know. Somebody has to fact check me on that. And obviously, we do know that Kevin Owens is pretty good friends with the Bucks. Obviously, I know. Obviously, we all know the history with Punk and the Bucks. You don't need me to go over that. But yeah, I think that's also probably where the problem stems just a little bit there. But if Cody and Punk can work together, I'm pretty sure Punk and Owens can work together as well. There's no question in my mind that those two are like unprofessional and like not going to work with each other. So it's going to be very interesting to see. And again, must watch television. Following after that, we had Baron Corbin defeating Trick Williams. That one was a surprise to me. I did not see that. I don't hate Baron Corbin. He's a very reliable worker. Like has good matches, but it's not one of those guys like it's. Gotta watch a Baron Corbin match. Like that's it. He's on television. Gotta watch it. Like I've never felt that way about Baron Corbin. Supposed to be the rumor out of that is that they have big things set up for Trick Williams. What that is, I don't know. Like I really don't because I really don't know. I'm not dogging on Trick Williams. I love Trick Williams. I've talked about it on the pod. I just think that him carrying like a pretty lengthy U.S. ring would have been better suited for him right now because like what do you do? Like he's just gonna have single matches. Like who's he gonna feud with? Like do you do it with Carmelo? This Carmelo feud should have happened with the U.S. title. I think in my opinion Carmelo should have been added to that match. I know Carmelo did tweet out something about, like a Baron Corbin tweet, like with a little headshot thing. So maybe that's the thing. I don't know. But yeah, that one was a little bit of a shocker for me. Didn't see that one coming. I don't like it. I think I even put out a post. Like everything has been, I think after the card was going through, I was like, everything there has been absolutely perfect decision-wise, but that has been, or to my opinion, was the miss there. Though what wasn't a miss, though, Chelsea Green coming out and being your new interim WWE champion. I'm surprised. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is this the first time that WWE has introduced the interim?
I think so. I know
like a true interim. Like I know they had like the Punk and Cena, but that was
they
like
have that one. And if you can go further back, you can go back to like the whole Intercontinental between Shawn and Razor. Like they had.
Oh, that's right.
Double belt. So, but it was never really called the interim. I honestly hate the term interim in like professional wrestling. It just kind of makes it seem kind of wonky. Honestly, it's just weird.
It's TKO for you, baby.
I mean, they do it in AEW, and I didn't like it in AEW, so I'm surprised. WWE did it. I would rather them just take the title off whoever. But I mean, it makes I get why they do it because obviously when Rhea comes back, then she'll obviously face Chelsea and merge the titles back in together. Then you get your, I don't know, would you be considered undisputed now at this point because you're merging them? But yeah, man, I honestly thought they were gonna go Charlotte in this one. I figured they were probably gonna go down a Charlotte Rhea feud again, and then maybe later on introduce Jade into it again. But yeah, this came out of left field for me. I honestly thought when they had the two ladders set up, and then Chelsea was kind of hanging upside down, I thought Chelsea was just gonna get up and just like push both ladders like that. Obviously it played out different, but I was like, man, that would have been pretty cool. But yeah, man, I'm super excited. The wifey was happy for it. We both kind of marked out a little bit when Chelsea won. So yeah, it's well deserved. I think she earned it, and I'm pretty sure like she's gonna be a good champion. So no doubt about it.
Yeah, when I wanted her to win, and then I did predict her to win. I was in my head, I was like, they could definitely go the safe route. But I was like, in my head, I was like, if WWE and creative really want to like freshen things up, like Chelsea was like the most perfect option to win this. Like Rhea has had her run-ins with everybody on that. She's had her thing minus from Tiffany, if I'm not mistaken. Maybe at one point she did, not on the main roster, I would say, but maybe down to NXT. But like she's obviously had her run in with Charlotte. She's had her run in with Jade. And hasn't really had it with Lash on the main roster as far as of right now. And the same thing with Tiffany. But like Chelsea Green, I think to me is like that perfect like setup for it. So whenever Rhea does come back, have they said when she's coming back? That's like I'm surprised they did the interim thing.
No clue.
Because I think it's like a meniscus thing, if I'm not mistaken. If I heard correctly, I believe it's a meniscus like knee injury. So I was like I'm surprised they just didn't like take the belt off her and like set that up moving forward. But yeah, I absolutely loved it. The match was okay itself. I think there was a couple of like wonky spots. I think the talent involved kind of made it like I've talked about it. Like I don't think Jade is the most perfect.
They didn't really mesh well.
Yeah, like there's a couple of like awkward spots. Like I think the spots that I remember was like when Lash and Tiffany had where they were like they had the ladder set up in between the turnbuckle and they're kind of just like waiting and like they set up like Tiffany like literally has to set it up for her. That was kind of weird. The one where I think just like Charlotte like interrupts like it was a like not the best women's ladder match. But yeah, I think the outcome itself was probably the most like perfect way you can go. Which Chelsea Green does have a Tops Now 1-of-1 card. The 1-of-1 is the autograph card, which they are promoting as for her first WWE Champion autograph. So that is probably one that would be highly suited for many collectors. I do know there's quite a bit of Chelsea Green collectors. So shout out to Chelsea Green, happy about that one and that outcome. Next, we had Danhausen and Dominic Mysterio. That was 6 minutes and in 50 seconds. The winner kept $100,000 that Danhausen stole from the Judgment Day. I'm reading it, quote unquote. That's on. That one, obviously, a lot of foolery. We had the Mini-Housens. We had Joe Hendry, Judgment Day involved. I guess it's also like a perfect segue, and we've talked about it here. I won't say segue, but like a perfect little combination of the booking of Dom. Like, we see the way how he's been booked in AAA, being the Triple A champion, going against El Grande Americano, was one of the bigger faces, and now he's being promoted as a heel over there. But like his booking compared to over here is just like so and I like Danhausen. Don't get me wrong, I like Danhausen. Was a segment 2 weeks ago one of the best segments? No. But yeah, having Dom being involved in a comedic Danhausen match here probably wasn't and isn't the best for him, and still being involved post SummerSlam as he had another match and it was still cursed. That's what they're promoting on Monday Night Raw. But yeah, again, a fine little comedic match, but I think they need to find a way to get Dom out of this and find something bigger for him. Like, are we forgetting this is the guy that beat John Cena at Survivor Series? Granted, he gets a lot of foolery, but beat John Cena. He has defeated AJ Styles, was a double champ at one point. Like, I don't know what it is, but like there needs to be some sort of help for Dom on the main roster. Like, I don't know if Undertaker needs to talk to the guys over on Raw. I'm like, hey man, this guy's as a king of the luchadors over here in AAA, and then you have him losing to Danhausen. So I don't know what needs to happen, but I think it's also like one of the things where it's like they need to do something with him.
Yeah, definitely probably not the best spot to have Dom into. To what I think they even said like last year at SummerSlam he was wrestling like AJ Styles, defending the Intercontinental title. So, yeah, I really don't know. I think just people in general are saying they're getting a little bit tired of the whole Danhausen gift. I'm not necessarily tired of it. I do wish it was a little bit more exclusive to like one show, maybe like only have him on Raw or only have him on SmackDown. At this point, I think obviously I know why he's everywhere. He obviously is a big merch seller, so TKO is gonna drain every little penny they can off of Danhausen. So yeah, I mean, the little one liked it when he came out. She was having a blast watching him, and she likes the little mini houses. She gets a kick out of that. So I mean, and that's what if you really think about it, that's also what it's for. It's for the children. So I mean, she likes it. So. Can't complain there. I like Danhausen. But yeah, the Dom booking is questionable. I think probably not the best for him, especially like as you said, like he is the champion down in AAA, so to have him lose, to Danhausen in 6 minutes. I mean, mind you, he didn't get pins. I guess there's that. Since he had to like get the money off the pole, but I think it's just kind of like probably not the best spot for him. Kind of seems like he may be done. I don't think Danhausen was on Raw tonight, unless I missed it. Unless he did a ad promo, which I wouldn't be surprised. But yeah, this might have been the first time he wasn't on Raw. So yeah, so it looks like he's headed off in a different direction. I think now I don't know if he's heading into a feud with Penta again or with Chad Gable for the IC title. Hopefully that'll do some justice and get him back on track. So yeah.
Yep, and once again, that is a perfect segue here to our fifth match here that was on this card. We had Chad Gable defeating Penta. Again, once that outcome came out, I was like, man, WWE and the creative has pushed all the right buttons there. That match was a good match. I think it just needed a little bit more time to cook to that extra level. A little bit of a shorter match. Obviously, that was saved off for the main event. But yeah, obviously the right choice. Chad Gable winning his first ever singles title match, and singles title, which is crazy considering how long he's been on the main roster. And even when you want to go down even further down to NXT. I know when he was down there was really only the men's NXT championship, and he was obviously with Jason Jordan at that time. So obviously it makes sense as far as that. But yeah, considering how long he's been on the main roster and the amount of work that he's put on the main roster and all the different personas that he's gone through, just a picture perfect story for him. You know, all the hard work, the story that he's now done post El Grande Americano. Absolutely loved it. His family coming out was a nice touch. Again, good old TKO fashion, had to throw in an ad there with the stupid root beer thing, which whatever, but it is what it is at this point. But yeah, obviously the right winner coming out here. Gonna be interesting to see where Penta goes from here. You know, if I'm being completely honest, I'm kind of a little bit worried for him. Like, do you find a way to get him and Rey Fenix together, kind of regroup that tag team division a little bit? So it's gonna be very interesting to see where that goes. But in hindsight here, Chad Gable becoming your new IC champion. A perfect outcome, and just overall happy for him. The amount of work that he's been put in the last, a year or 2 years now as the El Grande Americana persona, absolutely fantastic. And I'm excited to see where this reign goes, and hopefully he can have a lengthy one. It seems like we've been seeing like 100-day-ish kind of reigns. Hopefully his is a little bit lengthy and can carry out, and hopefully bring a little bit more prestige. Not saying Penta wasn't, but hopefully bring more prestige to this IC championship.
Yeah, I totally agree with you with everything. I just wish it went a little bit longer. I think had they been given a little bit more time, I think, not that the match wasn't bad, but I think they could have really delivered a little bit more. And I honestly thought they were going to go longer, just because I was like, man, it's the co-main event, if you want to say, that they were going to give them some more time, but they didn't. And I guess, I can understand why. I guess considering how long the main event went. But yeah, I'm excited to see what Chad Gable does with the title. Is pretty much came full circle. Penta was the one who started him on that journey going down to AAA and Mexico and all that stuff, and to now, beat Penta in your hometown for the IC title. I don't think you can write a better story, honestly. It's poetic. So, yeah, I'm excited to see what he does with this title. Well deserved.
Yeah, couldn't write a perfect story, and you couldn't write a more perfect story than the ending and the main event between Roman Reigns and Seth Rollins. What's being declared as the last time, we all know in wrestling how true that is. We don't know, but what's been promoted there as the last time, and Seth Rollins even hinted that in his promo when this program first started. We're closer to the end than we are to the beginning. And kind of Roman Reigns echoing that as well throughout their promos, saying like, I've never beaten you, like I need to beat you. This is potentially our last time of wrestling here in the squared circle. This main event here getting 33 minutes and 25 seconds, and it was worth every minute and second of that time, because an absolute perfect match, in my opinion. Again, kind of going back to the Reigns and Punk. I would say Roman Reigns has had 2 5-star matches this year. I know I've kind of talked about how I've never been like a big fan of like the tribal chief era of Roman Reigns, things like that. But man, when he's called into work, the dude knows how to work, man. And this was a perfect example of that. It all started with the entrance with Seth Rollins, coming out to the Sierra Hotel Indio Echo Lima Delta Shield and the Shield mask. It started with that. A part of me was kind of hoping to see the Shield gear again. Didn't get that in a sense. We just got the mask, which that's fine. As someone who grew up loving the Shield, I was hoping to see that gear one more time. Did not happen, but that's okay. Roman Reigns, obviously coming out in his traditional Ula Fala and the baggy gray pants there. But yeah, overall a fantastic match. Even kudos, the moments I did for me was the kudos to Dean Ambrose. Like once I saw the, yep, that's it. That's the 5-star right there. When we saw the rope little clothesline, and then we saw the dirty deeds, and even Michael Cole pinpointed to, which is always cool. Like I feel like in a Vince era, this would have never happened. Like we're not gonna talk about him, we're not gonna show him. Like this never would have happened. But obviously, they're to be recognizing the history of the Shield. So it's always nice to see nods to Dean Ambrose, and I feel like it's. Again, we talk about this being the last time that we'll probably ever see them together in the ring. I feel like we're never gonna see a Shield reunion. There's always that never say never, which I just echoed to. But I think Jon Moxley is one of those guys where never is true. Like I don't think he would ever step back in a WWE circle. Like I don't think there's a reason for him to do that. Like he has a lot of money. He's fine in AEW. His wife is over in AEW. He can go wrestle in the Indies, New Japan, CMLL, wherever he needs to go. Bloodsport's not really a thing anymore, but like there's other places for him to work. Like I think he would go to wrestle other places than WWE. So I think it's one of those things where we're just never going to see that group ever again. But yeah, going back to the match itself, like even the callbacks to the triple power bomb, exchanging finishers. Yeah, overall just a perfect match, a 5-star match. That's what professional wrestling is to me, brother. It was just a perfect match. You can't write a better script. I did have Roman Reigns going over. Didn't think they were going to end that reign quicker than that. Going to be interesting to see Rollins goes from here. He was not on Monday Night Raw, if I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be very interesting to see where his character goes, where his arc goes. Because obviously they're not going to run back Roman and Seth again, like we just talked about. So it's going to be very interesting to see what he does. And Punk's not there anymore. Punk's on SmackDown, so they're kind of keeping them separate. So yeah, I think he's in a very, very interesting spot. We know Roman is thrown into another freaking program with LA Knight. Unfortunately, not that I don't like LA Knight, but we've seen that before. But I think it's going to be very interesting where Seth goes. But yeah, again, overall a perfect main event. Don't know if you have anything in here. Maybe I missed something on the main event, but yeah, overall a 5-star ending there to that match, and a 5-star match overall.
No, yeah, I loved the match. I thought it was great. I said the same thing on Instagram. I posted. I was like, "This is what professional wrestling is." When you have two wrestlers that have such a history, and you can easily just tell the story between them. Like this is what you get. Like it was great storytelling. It was great wrestling, and it was just perfect. And the way they ended it was just great too. I loved all the little callbacks to Dean Ambrose, like you said, how they did he did that clothesline, and then they did the dirty deeds. Obviously at the end we get, then even calling back to the chair shot where, this is kind of what started it all when Seth turned on the Shield with the chair shot, and that's also what cost Roman the belt at WrestleMania 40 when he fought Cody and stuff like that. So for him, like Roman throwing the chair, like I'm not gonna let this get to me again, and obviously that's just storytelling right there. It's beautiful. But yeah, then even at the end too, like when they did the fist thing, when they obviously left the middle slot open for Dean, and they had the mask on the floor. But yeah, I agree with you. I think he's one of the guys I don't expect to ever see back wrestle in WWE. I think he's perfectly happy where he's at. I think even at this point, I think he's already been in AEW longer than he ever was in WWE. I do think if they ever decide to induct the Shield as a group into the WWE Hall of Fame, maybe that's when we'll get him back, even if he cares about that. I know some guys don't care about being in the the WWE Hall of Fame. So if that's something years down the line, if he's interested in it and they do decide to introduct them in a group, maybe that'll be the next time we see him. So, but who knows? That's obviously going to be years from now. But yeah, thought it was a great main event. Loved it. It was a great way to close the chapter on this story, and yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see where all these guys go. So see what happens.
If you're a betting man, where does Seth go from here? Is it going wrestling within you guys? Is it going to an established feud? Where are we booking Seth Rollins at this point? Like he's talked about, he's closer to the end. Punk's not there anymore. Becky's obviously doing her own thing. I think he's one of those big like this is like the biggest time I think for him. Like there's like the biggest question mark on him. I know when he came back, we're like, all right, it's kind of clear, go after Braun and Braun Breaker in the Vision, but he's already done that. The Vision has had their own. I think we were talking about it mutual. Like the group went from Paul Heyman, the Vision, Seth Rollins to Paul Heyman, Logan Paul, and Austin Theory now being thrown to Maxine Dupree. Yeah. I think we were talking about it when we were watching it together. That group is just an absolute freaking shambles. But yeah, like I think Seth Rollins is one of the guys where like I just don't know what you do with him at this point. Like he's you don't throw him in the mid card. Like I don't know who's on Raw right now where it's a fresh feud for him that will either benefit him and or benefit the talent that he's working with.
Yeah, honestly, I couldn't tell you. Like, I don't see him going into a program with Oba because I don't think that'll help either or, honestly. Like, I don't know. Do you move him to SmackDown? Have him go with, with Trick, Carmelo. Like, there's a lot of guys over there that he obviously hasn't worked with. Trick, Carmelo. Maybe he can help out Ricky Saints. I feel like there's more guys on.
Oh, I would love that.
I feel like there's more guys on SmackDown that might benefit more than anybody on Raw. Yeah, I really don't. I can't think unless he goes maybe Penta to get into a program with Penta.
Javon maybe. I mean, they had their little run in the Fatal 4-Way during the King of the Ring.
I don't know. He might just be hovering. Honestly, I think he's in a teeter between like that. Not necessarily the mid card scene, but like that right in between the mid card and upper card level, where he's obviously a main event talent, but he's working the guys from the mid card level. I don't know, but yeah,
you think he hits the Bailey status, where he's like helping out as much as he can, and like I don't want to say losing matches, but like obviously like trying to help like some of the younger, like obviously we've seen Bailey put over quite a bit of talent these days, and I know her status is kind of up in the air right now. We've seen other rumors. I know Lyra's been hinting at like, oh, she's gone. Like she's, I kicked her out. Like she's done. But shout out to Lyra. The promos, the shit she's been doing.
Apparently she was in character all weekend from what I heard.
Yeah, I saw the weird. She was like, I don't know who was interviewing her, but she's like, dude, describe these superstars in one word, and she was like all like covered up and like I don't know. She's like, I don't know what she said. She's like. Charlotte Flair, feathers, a lot of feathers. Like it was really weird. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know if Seth Rollins goes into that. I mean, Bailey.
Becky's in that role. Becky's in that kind of role too, where she's like obviously working the younger talent, and she obviously held the Intercontinental 3 times, honestly. So
and going back after it again.
Yeah, well, after tonight, she said she's not coming back for it. She's going to have to live. But yeah, I don't know, man. It's a little tough out there for good old Seth freaking Rollins.
Yeah, so he's one of those guys there where I was like, man, like once the program ended and once the match ended, I was like, man, like where does he go from here? So it's gonna be very interesting to see, where his program and his future holds. Cause even in like going like kind of mixing in with some trading cards, like I feel like some of his stuff was like some of the most like undervalued cards out there. Like you could buy a Seth Rollins auto for like anywhere from like $20 to $30, which is absolutely insane. Especially for someone who I would consider probably like our modern Shawn Michaels, like in ring wise, accolade wise as well. He's probably maybe even up there. So yeah, it's absolutely insane. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see where he goes here moving forward. But as we talk about trading cards and the wrestling card space, this past week here was the National. There was a lot of card content coming out of there, especially the wrestling card space. From obviously we were not there, so I can't speak on it firsthand. But from what we heard, it was probably one of the biggest sectors, or like we saw the WWE space grow. We do know that there was a wrestling trade event that was held, I think, across from the National, which I heard was a pretty big success. So shout out to those guys who helped run that. But yeah, obviously the big news coming out of the National was the John Cena patch. The 1-of-1 WrestleMania patch just floated out of nowhere. Literally floated out of nowhere. Did not hear about it at all. Did not see this being pulled. It wasn't pulled on a stream. It wasn't pulled on a YouTube video. It just popped up in PSA's database. Did receive a grade 8, which I did see a lot of criticism in that regard. But yeah, thus ending the arguably the biggest, it's not arguably, the biggest 1-of-1 patch here in royalty. It is with Golden Auction along with the Rhea Ripley patch. We do know both of those cards are sitting right now at Golden. I don't know the logistics as far as the auctions and when they're starting and when they end. But obviously those are going to be two big key patches to watch, again, specifically the John Cena. As we all know, and that's when he defeated Cody Rhodes, became the 17-time champion. Thus, and also his last in-ring WrestleMania. Gonna be very interesting to see where this patch goes money wise. I've been on record on this podcast. I've been on record with people like I do think it tops 100+ K. I really do, especially with it being with Golden. Like, I think they're gonna promote the hell out of this. We've seen the work that Ken Golden has done and that company has done with collectibles in general. I think this goes beyond just a normal standard trading card. So I am happy that is with them. I don't even know the person who pulled it. I don't know if it's one of those identity things where they're kind of just trying to stay hush hush. Who has it? Who it just popped up and it was in a case. It was in a showcase. But thoughts on the patch. Thoughts. I remember I texted you right away. I was like, "Hey, patch pull." I filmed a freaking video in my car. I don't even film videos in my car. Usually I film them in my office. But yeah, insane card, insane seeing it there. I know Babyface Breaks had a cool moment with it. I know they were letting people hold it at the National. So very, very cool. It's going to be very interesting to see what that card does. I think it's really going to set the tone for future patches and obviously the future of big, monumental cards itself. But yeah, thoughts on the Cena patches floating out of nowhere. Thoughts on a future price. What does this do? Any thoughts here on the Cena 1-of-1 officially being pulled, thus ending the biggest chase in, I would say, in WWE wrestling card history?
Yeah. I'm surprised that it. I mean, who knows when it got pulled? I would love to know the story of whoever pulled this. Like, how long did they have it? Like, where did they buy a personal box and they ripped it at home and just like. I don't know. That's what I'm more curious. I know when it got pulled, I thought it got pulled on stream or something like that, but it didn't. It just came out of nowhere. But yeah, I mean, thus ending the chase. I know when it got pulled, there was on Fanatics Live. There was, I don't know what breaker it was, but they had like a 5-caser loaded in their shop, and they had the John Cena spot at $10,000. So when it got pulled, I was like, man, let me go check and see if anybody bought that spot. And no, when I went to the thing, like, nobody had bought it. Like, and everybody in the comments were like, oh, the John Cena spot's cooked and blah blah blah. So yeah, I don't know whatever happened to that break. I don't know if they did break or not, but yeah, that's what everybody was left chasing, was that John Cena patch. So now that it's finally pulled, it's gonna be interesting to see what they go for. I do honestly think it'll probably break the record for the most expensive trading card. I do think so. I think there's too many eyeballs on this card that everybody was looking for it. Everybody had bounties on it. And I do think it being at Golden does kind of help because, like I said, they do promote the heck out of their stuff. They know a lot of, like, obviously if you watch the show King of Collectibles on Netflix, like, they have, like, there are guys who collect certain things or collect high-end collectibles, so they can reach out to them directly and, put in private bids for them and all that stuff. So they have it. They have the resources to get this card up there, and I do think it will get up there. Same for the Rhea. I mean, that was another big chase that everybody was chasing, was that Rhea patch. That one, we know the person who pulled it, and so he had a pretty cool story of how he pulled it. So yeah, I mean, I'm excited to see what these cards do. I wonder what's the most expensive sold women's wrestling card, like, on data.
Women's wrestling card?
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know. That's a good question. Someone would have. I would have to do like. Let's see if we can try to figure it out on good
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see
card ladder.
what's that most expensive for a woman wrestler, because I would think this card's going to be up there as well. It's just
is it not Bianca? The 29.5.
The Bianca patch.
I would think. Looking at it here, as far as the recorded sales.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah, because obviously the highest recorded.
I do think she'll outsell Bianca. So.
Oh yeah, I think so too. Yeah, there's no disrespect to Bianca, but I think she has to top that.
I was thinking maybe like a good 50K on Rhea.
Rhea, dude, I think Rhea. I might be crazy. I think she breaks the Randy Orton. I think she breaks the Randy Orton.
I think so too. Because what, Randy sold for what, 40 and some change?
Randy sold for, let's see here, get a confirmed number for Randy. Randy Orton sold for 42, a little bit over 42.
Yeah, that's
so she 50? Breaks. I think she breaks that. I would think she goes like 50, 55, and I do think Cena is going to break 150. Yeah, in my opinion. Again, those are just predictions. I don't know. I'm just one. I'm just one person. What do I know these days? But yeah, I do think she tops Randy for sure. She's gonna top Bianca. She's gonna top Tiffany. But yeah, I think there's obviously it's Rhea Ripley, and there's a lot of people involved in Rhea Ripley cards, and like he just talked about, being with Golden is definitely gonna help that. Because I really don't see Fanatics like promote their stuff. Like I really do not. The only time I saw them ever promote any of their auctions was the Paul Skeens. That's the only time, and that was because they had like a whole big old story about how a kid wrote about it in his journal and he wanted it for Christmas. So that's the only time that I've seen them promote any of their auctions. And I know right now they're trying to like incorporate the Fanatics Live and the auction, the Collect app all together all at once. So it's kind of all jumbled within one. But yeah, like I think both buyers and both sellers of those cards did eventually make the right decision. I know the seller of the Rhea during the National, he was being filmed by some other content creators. He's like, like I don't know, like I'm just kind of just waiting on my options, like I still have it, and then thus at the end, ended up getting it over to Golden Auction. So very happy for them. They're gonna be having a pretty penny once those auctions are concluded. So it is going to be must-watch stuff. We are going to be obviously keeping tabs with all those patches there. So make sure you are following us over here on the podcast. If you're following on YouTube, Apple, Spotify, follow us on our social medias. All the links there are down in the description down below of the podcast description. Again, wherever that you are listening to this podcast. Keeping it with patches, it was also confirmed that SummerSlam is going to have their own patches. It was seen here. You're the one that brought it to my attention. I did not even notice it. Didn't see anybody else talking about it until night 2, but you're the one that brought it up to me night 1 when we were watching it together, that certain superstars were wearing the one-of-one SummerSlam patches. So that's going to be very exciting. Going to be curious to see where these are put into. Do they keep it with Topps Royalty and have those kind of thrown in there? They're throwing it Chrome. You saw the SmackDown debut and the Raw debut patches in Chrome. So maybe throw them in there because I don't think SummerSlam's kind of like that big. It's not WrestleMania. I know it's promoted as the SummerSlam, the WrestleMania of the summer. I don't think it's really promoted as that anymore. Or maybe it is, but it's a little bit tough for that. But yeah, going to be very interesting to see when those are announced. I didn't even see freaking Topps talk about them unless I missed it. I haven't seen. It's been absolute crickets as far as the announcement of the patches. I
don't think everybody had one. That's the confusing part. Like,
yeah,
I went through the whole first night, like, watching it, and then all of a sudden, like, when Punk's wrestling, I was looking at his boot, and I was like, I think there's a freaking patch on his boot. So before I said anything, I was like, well, let me look for Cody's patch, and sure enough, I found it. I was like, what the heck? So in my eyes, I'm wondering if it was just for the main event people. And I wonder if Cody and Punk were originally supposed to maybe main event, and then it got swapped maybe. But by then, it's probably too late. Or
maybe. Because Oba, I know Oba had one.
Oba had a patch?
Oba had one. Oba had one in shorts. I don't know about Brock, though. But you are correct though. I think it is like the big players, like the big main event guys, because I didn't see anybody talking about like the women having one. Didn't see anybody on the ladder match having one as far as the women as well. Didn't see Chad Gable or Penta having one. So I legitimately think that it was just like the main event guys. So I think you are so correct. I still do think that it was supposed to be Punk and Roman. That's why they on Punk and Cody. That's why they had the patch, and then they threw one on Oba and Brock if he had one. I'm not too sure if Brock had one, but and then Roman. I don't even know where does Seth have his at. I don't think I saw anybody talking about it. I know Roman had it on like his pants. I don't know where
Seth had it. I honestly couldn't even. I honestly didn't even look for it. Because I saw Roman on his pants, and so I just assumed that Seth has it somewhere on him, or maybe he had it on his jacket, and one of those little funky.
Oh yeah, he always freaking throwing those freaking things around.
But yeah, it was kind of interesting because, like you said, like nope, like Tops didn't say anything, like nobody's really said anything about it. So, it's gonna be interesting to see what they come. Maybe it'll come out in Chrome next year. I don't know. Because it kind of seems like royalty is going to be saved for like WrestleMania patches, maybe exclusively. I don't know. But yeah, because I mean, if Chrome is strictly just debut patches, like we rarely get debuts that often. So, and even at that, like you'll be having like your third match, and then all of a sudden you have a debut patch on, so it don't make no damn sense. So, yeah, but I mean it's pretty cool, but.
Another chase. Another chase.
Just making these spots more expensive than they already are. Punk, Oba, Cody. You know.
Oh yeah, if they throw Punk, if they throw it into Chrome, RIP to my Punk's the CM Punk spot. I mean, granted, I never really buy the CM Punk spot just because it's very overly expensive. Or I just throw my money into the singles already. But yeah, it's gonna be very interesting. So thought that was a nice little call out by you, and obviously some other content creators have already also expressed the SummerSlam patches there. Keeping it with some other card talk, I know we briefly talked about the National. National did have packs devoted to the WWE. I believe it was like 6 packs, like 4 cards per pack, or like 5 cards per pack. Don't know the logistics of it. There are the National packs that they are hitting eBay, or they've been hitting eBay for the last like week and a half, or not week and a half, last like 4 or 5 days or so since the packs have been pulled, or boxes were pulled. I know they did it a little bit differently this year around. You have to go buy the box of the EQL. In the past, you would just take sealed boxes to them. They would rip it, and then you would get exchanged the packs. But Top decided to do it, or Tops and Fanatics decided to do it a little bit differently this year. Do you know those boxes do have some breaks loaded up on Fanatics Live? So if that's something that you're interested in, I would keep an eye on there. Yeah, they do. There are breaks for the National boxes there. So keep an eye on there for that if that's interesting for you. In my honest opinion, I would just go buy the single, because usually you may think these cards do well, but in history they really don't. I really don't think people care about the National packs too much. That's just my opinion, unless you hit like a big 1-of-1, which are already some 1-of-1s over on eBay. But like the number parallels, I know there's a out of 26 parallel for obviously for the Chicago 2026 National, but typically like these cards really don't do well. Base cards are already going for like anywhere for like $3 to $4. So in my opinion, if there's a certain superstar that you're really targeting or collect, I would just go out and just chase a single. So, but that's just my opinion. What do I know? I'm only one person. If you want to go buy into breaks, go ahead and do that. Not financial advice. Other hobby news: it was confirmed on the Topps website. Pre-order for Topps Universe is officially coming here August 10th, which that is putting us at, what is that, next Tuesday? Yes, next Monday. We're recording this on Monday. Ooh. This episode will probably be out Wednesday. Next Monday is the official pre-order for 2026 Topps Universe. Now, we've already seen a lot of sneak peeks of this set. We had a lot of superstars signing over WrestleMania weekend. We've seen some patches already. I made a little short about it. Again, which is why I highly advocate you guys follow me over there. We saw like a tag team relic of both CM Punk and AJ Lee. We've seen some autos from both Soruka and Blake Monroe. Yeah, overall, really, really excited for this set. Obviously, 2025 Topps Universe did come out earlier in the year. Like we talked about like on this podcast, and like we talked about in multiple videos. I think Universe was a very enjoyable set. The fact that we had retail products and hobby products, that was very, very enjoyable. Obviously what we talked about here, we believe we even had babyface breaks on the pod. I would have to go back and double check that. I feel like what hurt the product a little bit was just so how dated it was, because superstars were signing this during like WrestleMania of last year. So we had like a lot of release names like Gigi Dolan, Cora Jade, Karrion Kross, Eddie Thorpe. Like there was a bunch of names in here that were like we no longer care about, nor did we care about.
Yeah.
So it was very, very outdated. Obviously, this being the most recent set, there's going to be a lot of new fun stuff. I know, like, announcers are probably... I think Alicia Taylor was signing autographs from this set. I would be curious to see if, like, referees have... I know that referees are scheduled to have autographs in Stadium Club, which I'm surprised it's got announced before Stadium Club. I think Stadium
That's
Club...
what I was going to say. I'm surprised
I believe Stadium Club's...
Club didn't even get... Stadium Club
like
didn't come out
mentioned.
first. Yeah.
Yeah. Because you would think Stadium Club's like an easier product to get ready because obviously with Universe it is a relic set as well. And the hobby box are guaranteed at least 2 autos and or 1 relic or both. Stadium Club is just strictly a full-on paper set. So a little bit surprised. So I'm curious to see how these relics are going. I don't know if they've just been pulling relics there breath and right and just throwing them into cards. So it's going to be something very interesting to watch moving forward. But again, Monday, August 10th. It's a scheduled pre-order release. Don't know price points yet. Don't know if blasters are coming back or value boxes people call them. I always call them blasters. If value boxes will be coming back, do we maybe see megas? It's going to be very interesting to see. Something to keep an eye out moving forward. So again, highly advocate that you guys follow me over on the social medias because I will be making videos about that once they do get announced. But yeah, very, very excited for 2026 Top Universe. I believe it's one of the more slept-on sets. If you're looking for like a good little cheap entry point, fun little rip, some nice little relics. I know we talked about on the pod how we enjoyed the ringside relics, the ladders, the tables. I believe you have a few of them as well. Correct me if I'm wrong. But yeah, overall, I think it's a very, very fun set. Very, very excited to see what 2026 brings, and gonna be obviously gonna keep my eyes peeled on the pre-order, which is scheduled for August 10th.
Yeah, I would expect the price to be similar to last year's. Last year's was it 180 for a hobby?
Yeah, like 180 pushing 200, like some around that price point. Yeah,
I know the secondary was like 300. So,
yeah.
Which funny enough, I forgot to tell you. Last week when I went to a GameStop, they had a hobby box there of Universe, but they wanted 280 for it. It was like out of nowhere. I was like, "What the heck is this in here?"
They had it there.
Yeah.
The fuck.
Yeah. The game scalpers were charging a little bit. They were taxing.
Game scalpers.
But yeah, I mean, I know we've seen some preview of some of these images. I know like the bigger chase one is going to be like that CM Punk AJ dual relic auto. That's probably going to be a popular one, stuff like that. So, yeah, Universe was fun. I like that. I ripped a lot of like freaking Universe blasters and breaks and stuff like that. Probably spent more on Chrome, but yeah, I think it just didn't help.
Well, the fact with the Universe blasters, the fact that you got like a number card too, I think made it worth it too.
Yeah, I think that helped too. That was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Because yeah, usually that's unheard of. Like that's more to me from like ripping all that other stuff that we do. That's more common like in Chrome sets. Like,
yeah.
Like you're guaranteed like a number card, but you have to get like a mega box or some stuff like
that.
The
mega box, yeah.
Yeah. So to get a number card out of a blaster, I mean that's pretty cool. So I did like that. It is a good entry point, and I think we just ripped it so much because we went so long without nothing that as soon as this came out, we were all up on it. So yeah, it's gonna be pretty interesting. But yeah, I am surprised that this is coming out before Stadium Club. I wonder if we're gonna get another Topps Finest this year. I would hope so. I love Finest.
I would hope so. I love the fun set.
Hopefully they clean up the design a little bit. Don't make it so damn dark. Make it a little bit brighter because I love
if they follow the baseball design, that would be a very sleek.
Nice, really, really nice. So I hope they go that route because I think last year's I did like it. Did think the imaging was just a little bit too dark. But if they brighten it up a little bit, I think it'd be pretty cool. But yeah, I mean it's just stuff to keep an eye out. But yeah, I'll be keeping an eye on this price and see what we can do. See maybe we can snag a little hobby box. I think that's also the same day Star Wars Galaxy comes out, or the release date, or it comes out later that same week. So I'm screwed.
Oh, is it also the Topps Marvel Mint box too?
Probably.
Damn it. I'm cooked, chat.
Yeah, I think. Yeah, now that I think about it, yeah, I think August 12th, that Wednesday, is the drop date for Star Wars Galaxy 2026. So, yeah.
Oh my god, let me confirm it for you so you know if you need to do that or not. What is it called? Galaxy?
Yeah, Star Wars 2026 Star Wars Galaxy. I'm pretty sure it is.
That's the box you ripped last year, right? Or
yeah. Well,
where you
yeah,
pulled your sketch?
Year. Yeah.
Yeah, you're cooked. August 12th.
Yep, knew it.
Yeah, the box design's fucking cool on this. There's Mando and Grogu on it.
Yeah.
That's a sick design.
Yeah, it's and those are hard to get into breaks personally for me because it's just like you're chasing the card. And...
Oh, that's the one with the. This might be a conversation for the Collected Beyond the 1, 2, 3, but this is the one with the comic book cover.
Yes.
With the one I tweeted. Oh, damn it! I'm cooked too.
Yep. So,
God.
it's gonna be a busy week next week.
Lizzo has autos in here.
Yeah.
What the hell?
I don't know. Did you ever see that episode? Did you ever get that far in Mando when she comes out?
Yeah, I hated it.
Yeah.
I hated everything with even the Jack Black. I hated that shit too.
I love it. Love it.
Again, maybe an episode for Beyond the 1, 2, 3, which we might record this week. But Peter Mayhew has autographs in here. Is that his auto right here? I'm gonna send you a screenshot. Is that his auto? Granted, it's a sticker auto.
Unless they
looks like it.
Unless they have his autos, like a sticker book of his autos that they never used.
Speaking of people who are no longer with us, have we seen any autos for the decades being pulled of people who've passed?
I
haven't seen any. I've yet to see like any Piper.
Yeah, I've been saying. I think the only one I'd be interested in is like Roddy Piper. Is that him, Peter? I think that is it. Yeah, I think so.
Right?
Wow. Yeah, it looks like it.
C-3PO. They might put my face on there. Moon 3PO. Triple auto.
Guy.
With all the droids. K2SO, C-3PO, Moon 3PO. But you just pick that and pull that out of my bag, huh? K2SO.
Nah, you gotta put the. Nah, it's gotta be K2SO, Babu Frick, and then Moon 3PO.
Or Slaces B. Crumb, Moon 3PO, and damn, what the fuck is his name? Oh my god, Big Fortuna.
Oh yeah. That'd be the card right there. Somebody do my card.
Bail Organa, Aunt Burrow, and Moon 3PO. Boom, that's your auto right there.
The most obscure characters of all time.
I thought one right there, my friend. Oh man. But if you guys want this conversation further, go check out Collecting Beyond the 1, 2, 3. That is our pop culture TCG Marvel Star Wars podcast, which we drop episodes every other week. May record an episode this week just because we had Spider-Man Brand New Day coming out. I do want to see it one more time, maybe potentially before we record, just so I can finally officially rank it. I do think I have an idea of where it's ranked. I'm curious to see where you're at, but obviously we'll save that for the podcast. But yeah, guys, that is our episode here. But before I officially wrap everything up on Collecting the 1, 2, 3, Bropio, any final thoughts here for the listeners of Collecting the 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, no, I really don't got much. Hopefully, I know this build to SummerSlam was a little wonky, and there were some questionable segments and some build-ups and blah, blah, blah. I really hope they get it going and, change some directions for some stuff.
I feel like, and it's too early. I've seen this before many times, which is why I think it's kind of been hard to kind of come on this podcast and talk about wrestling, because wrestling has been a little bit on a down end a little bit. But I feel like this episode of Raw was a good, decent starting point. We saw some glimpses of hopefully something that can freshen up a little bit. We had the Brock and Oba. Not Brock and Oba, excuse me. Braun and Oba. I'm intrigued by that, where that goes.
Did they ever wrestle down at NXT? They had to, right? Or no?
I can't recall a time. Maybe I'm wrong.
Because Braun's an NXT 2.0 guy, that's why.
Yeah. I can't recall a time that they did.
But I mean, yeah, if they never did that. That alone right there is money. Becky, the return of Becky and Steph automatically just like bring life into the women's division. Now we didn't even talk about it, but Big Cass is back now. Like
Big Cass is back, yeah.
Yeah, I'm
curious to see where that goes.
There's no Enzo. I thought they would be coming together, or I mean, that was the rumor the whole time that they were bringing them both back, but it seems to me like he's going to be more on the serious side. So I know Enzo was a little bit more on the comedic, or not comedic, but in a little bit more of the jokester in a sense. So I don't know if it. I mean, I'm pretty sure he could still come in and be his manager or whatever, where they would still mesh well. But yeah, I'm a little surprised there was no Enzo. But yeah, we totally forgot. We forgot to talk about that. So yeah, I don't know if you did. I don't know if it was real or not, but I saw something on Twitter that Roman Reigns ran into Rey Mysterio at the end of Raw, and
What?
he told Roman that I'm the manager of AAA. He's on me run some things by you. I don't know if that was real or not.
Oh yeah, I just saw the clip right now.
Yeah. So I don't know. Is Roman Reigns gonna go down to AAA? So yeah, I don't know.
How's going on over there? You gonna fight Omos?
Gee. That or you gonna fight El Grande?
So I want fucking Roman Reigns versus what's the little kid's name?
Mini Vikingo.
I want that match. Book it.
Yeah, that kid's crazy, man. Little Mini
Oh my god,
Vikingo.
Royce Keys is dead.
Yeah, I think he killed him. Sorry, God.
I just saw the clip of him putting him on the stretcher.
Yeah. He killed him.
Oh my god. He's freaking ripped. Oh my lord. Man. But yeah, like we're kind of like talking about here. I do think this episode of Monday Night Raw was one of their better ones. There's a lot of interesting things going on. I think again, just kind of talking about it overall in a bigger picture. You know, we have, like we talked about on this podcast, Punk and KO. I'm super excited for them. We're going to be very interested to see where that goes. Oba and Braun, if that frustrates into a thing. Like you talked about the women's division finally on Raw getting a little bit of a spark up with Becky, with Kerr coming back as well. Much needed return on both ends. Where does Randy Orton go? Is there Randy Orton Cody? Like, do they set that up again without Pat McAfee? I think that will heavily have me more invested in that. What drove me out of that was the fact that he was inserted into that.
Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. Like there's a lot of good things. I know we like to always give shit on AEW how they have good pay-per-views but can never follow up. I think WWE's kind of been on the same little thing where they have like solid pay-per-views but can never build up. So yeah, it's going to be very, very interesting to see where it goes. So I'm intrigued by it. I'm not going to get my hopes up too high, but it is something to keep an eye out there moving forward. As far as the thoughts on my end, yeah, guys, again, highly, like we talked about throughout the episode, make sure you do just follow us over on the social medias, Instagram, Twitter. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you subscribe to the channel. Help support the content, help supports me, help supports Bropio. Again, all of our links are down below, along with our eBay stores. If you guys want to go check that out. Have a vendor POV vlog, even though I fucked up the audio. I'm an idiot, and the port was plugged into the wrong. The wire jack that plugs to my mic was plugged into the headphone jack. So that's my bad. Rookie mistake. It was the fact that Mrs. Moon wasn't there with me. Like usually, like she sets up the table for me and gets all that done after I carry it in. Like she does everything for me. This one, like, and I'm usually like in the back, like setting up my camera, make sure my mics are there. This time around, like I did everything by myself, so was very hectic getting in there and getting everything set to make sure everything looked right and things like that. So that's my bad. Take an L on that one. That's on me. But we'll get better. We'll be better. So yeah, if you want to go check out that vendor vlog, there's a bunch of voiceovers over it. It is over up on YouTube. Trying to think final thoughts here on my end. Yeah, I don't think that I have too much here on my end from that. So again, go check out the vlog. If you guys are interested in my vendor stuff, keep an eye out there for that. We're trying to expand a little bit more. May have a show in 2 weeks, TBD. We will find out. I'll obviously make an announcement about that. Yeah, and again, go check out the eBay store. I know I always get people messaging me about cards that I have and things like that. Like, feel free to shoot me a message over on those platforms as well. There'll be some cards that I don't have listed on there where to highlight. Like my Oba cards or like some higher price stuff I just don't want to get eaten by Fibe. So if there's ever anything that you see, make sure you just shoot me a message. I'll be happy to work with you guys. I'm also buying like crazy right now. We're just trying to, again, get ready for these shows. So if you have anything WWE wise, or even pop culture wise, again, like we talked about, Magic, Marvel, Disney, I'm buying all of that right now, which again is a perfect segue. Final thought here. Again, if you want those like pop culture, Star Wars stuff, the cards, Marvel cards, things like that, make sure to go check out Collecting Beyond the 123. It is a completely different feed. It's not on the collecting the 123 feed, so you have to literally look up Collecting Beyond the 123, and it will be there. So if that's something you guys want to also listen to, make sure to go check out that podcast. We talk about movies, comics, whatever, superheroes, whatever the case may be. It's all there. So that's something that if you guys are interested, go check that out. Also help support us and support the content. But yeah, that's going to be it on my end. Again, thank you guys for listening, watching, and supporting the content. I really, really do appreciate it. And we will see y'all in the next one.